Hello, hello, everybody.
Hello, hello. How's it going?
Going good. Excited to share a bunch of cool new updates today.
Great.
Awesome. Some more people are joining in. I'll let them in. Post the itinerary for today. Awesome. All right, posted that. Alrighty. And then everyone that's watching on YouTube, welcome back. Been getting a lot of feedback that a lot of people are watching on YouTube, which is great. Unfortunately, I forgot to record last week's, so this will be a good one to get everyone updated and back up to speed. We'll be going over some of the new features and things that we added last week, along with some of the bug fixes that people actually mentioned in our call last week. So if you have any items that you'd like to bring up, questions or little bugs that you might have found, please put them in the chat or just say I have a question and we'll get to you guys during the chat Q&A session. And I'm going to share my screen here. We'll let some more people in. Ready. And of course, the changelog on our website, or you can go to roadmap.stammer.ai and be able to access the changelog. All of the updates that we post on a weekly basis will be posted there in depth, along with these videos that I've been making to quickly showcase what these different features are and how everything works. So welcome everyone that just joined. We're going to be going over some of the new things that we just released, as well as some of the other updates and exciting new tutorials that we released in the last week or so. So just to do a quick recap, last week we introduced the native integrations for Facebook and WhatsApp, and this now allows you to connect directly to those platforms without any third-party software, which is really cool. This week, we've extended that ability now to have a human handoff setting for those two different integrations. And so a human handoff is, and I'll give you guys a full demo of that in a second. Human handoff is the ability to stop a chat in one of these integrations, Facebook Messenger or WhatsApp, and notify someone that the person on the other end wants to talk with a human, not with a bot. And at which point anybody can go into that native integration to engage with the conversation. So for clarification, this is not live chat. This is a human handoff notification feature. And so what that actually looks like is if we go into any of your AI agents, you can scroll down to this one, go into the integrations tab, we can now see that there's a new section that we can enable or disable for each bot itself. And so this is going to be enabled specifically for these integrations right now. And once Instagram is out, we'll be adding that. And then we'll be introducing this in another format for the website chat widget and all the other channels, basically. So upon detecting a specific keyword, the AI agent will stop responding and it will alert somebody via an email or a webhook. And so you can customize whatever you want to put in here. And so, for example, like typical SMS laws or whatever, if someone types in the word stop, then the AI agent would send this message as its final message saying, okay, and this would be exactly what a user would experience with, opting in or opting out of something. If they type in stop or unsubscribe or unsub, it would say you have now been unsubscribed and blah, blah, blah. And so you can customize whatever that message is, and then you can send a notification either to yourself or to the client via email, as well as set up a custom webhook if you want to take any of this data any further. And I can pull up what that looks like, actually. There it is. So this would say, hey, someone on your Facebook page has requested a human to talk to. Here's the conversation URL. Here's the name. Here's the chatbot. Here's the ID of the AI agent. All the information that you would need. This is version 1 of this email. Soon we will allow you to customize this email and this notification. And if you want to be able to customize all of that right now, you can use the webhook URL to be able to take in that data, and it's formatted in a JSON. So whatever platform that you're sending that data to can receive standard, then you can customize that, and then send an email or do whatever you want. You have the option to enable or disable this for each of the different platforms specifically. And then, so that's the first version of this. And you can basically customize this for each individual AI agent. And shortly we'll be allowing for customization further for each different platform. Any quick questions on that? Awesome. Next up, we've got unlimited. Oh, yeah.
Quick. Hey, how we doing? Quick question then. So if you're pushing that conversation, are you pushing that into whatever webhook you've set up? So it could be a link to a CRM.
Yes, exactly.
So it could drop into HubSpot or Salesforce.
Yes.
Awesome. With the full context of the conversation that's been had.
It's the link. It's the link to the conversation.
And that link was what you showed us last week, which is the summary of that session.
Exactly. Yes. So, and I'm
Worth
sure you're
all content into this as well.
exactly. So that's the next step. Once now that we've built these foundation blocks of being able to give you the conversation, and next we'll be able to take that conversation and put it inside the JSON under conversation. So again, for everyone watching, this is how we do a lot of our development is we do it in this kind of like building blocks steps where we make sure everything works from a foundational point of view and make sure there's no big errors or anything, and then release it to you guys so that you guys can give us feedback. And I mean, now we've worked, very closely with so many agencies for almost a year now that we can kind of predict these things. So I'm so glad that you said that, Tim, because that's exactly where we were going with this and that's kind of brings us to one of the things that we're actively developing right now, which is the further analytics module that will allow for all of this to be sent outside of this scenario as well. And that could be done based off of when a conversation ends, or for example, when a keyword is triggered at any point in any channel for any user. So lots of cool things coming up. Stay tuned. Make sure to subscribe to our YouTube because we're lots more tutorials coming out on there. Malcolm asks, is that link now included in the lead information email as well? Or is that's exactly what we're working on this week? I have a call with our dev team in about 2 hours. Hopefully we'll have a great update for that on getting that out as soon as possible, because I know a few people are waiting on that. Fantastic. All right. So next up, we've got unlimited packages. This was another highly requested feature. And this now gives you the ability to, like it says, create unlimited subscription packages for your clients. And so this now gives you the ability to create one-off packages, custom packages, or the ability to show or not show any subscription packages to your clients. And so the way that that is done is you can create a package or you can edit a package. And I'll just click on edit here. And we can see now that there's this new option that says show package to sub accounts. And so if this option is selected, that this package will be shown to your sub accounts. And if I was to go into one of my sub accounts here and go into subscription, I could see this is that subscription that I can't, and if I scroll down, I can't see anything else. If I go back to my agency view and I go into my SaaS configurator again, if I scroll down, I can see that I have another package here that's called exclusive. If I click edit package on this one, we can see that this option is now unchecked. And so now this package is only going to be shown to users if I give them this direct link to this specific package. It will not be shown inside the dashboard when they log in. And if they do end up purchasing this exclusive package, it will show up to them exactly like this. It'll show as a horizontal card below whatever they are able to be seeing as the publicly accessible plans. So this gives you the ability to, like I said, create the one-off plans, but also create the ability to hey, this is what you could be buying, but this is what I'm giving you as that exclusive package because it's literally separate as a separate thing. So there still is 3 different tiers that you can select. So we still only allow you to show 3 different tiers in your dashboard, but you can create as many different of these as you want. And as long as you have the link to the actual package itself, anybody can, the flow of onboarding is the exact same. They purchase, everything gets redirected back to their sub account dashboard. Lucas says, this is great, really simple to set up. Yep, appreciate that. Wanted to make it as simple as possible. Alrighty. Yeah, so this is now both the unlimited packages and the ability to show and edit packages are now available and live for both agency tier and full SaaS mode plans, as well as the integrations and the human handoff. And for those of us that just joined the meeting, I briefly just showed some quick updates about the updates that we did to the integrations tab that include the human handoff, as well as the ability to create unlimited subscription packages via your SaaS configurator. And as a reminder, there will always be a full recording of this on YouTube posted later today. So if you missed anything, there's always something that you can review. Finally, we've got a few different bug fixes that we added and this was actually from some things that people mentioned in the call last week. I believe there was an agency that had a client that said, hey, when the bot is on a web page and there's a starter message, and when you click the X on the starter message, the whole bot shows up. Well, we fixed that. So now when you click the X, everything just exits out like normal, like you would expect. So that's fixed. And we've also added in and if this was a thing that we added again last week, was the first version of our audio features. We are actively working on the 11 Labs integration this week. So we'll have that out soon as well. And that will be available for agency and full SaaS mode tier plans. So that'll be super exciting to get things moving. And then a small one, you can now scroll up while the bot is responding. That was kind of an annoying little thing, but that's now fixed as well. And again, if you want to review all of the updates and information that we've added, changelog is available at roadmap.stammer.ai. And the last thing I want to mention before we go into the Q&A session is updates that we've added to our new feature that we added last week, which was the custom functions. And this is a full SaaS mode feature only. And essentially what this does is it allows you to connect your bots to do different things. And so one of the examples that I filmed and added last night was how to connect to a Shopify store. So this is a highly requested feature that people were looking for quite a while. And now through custom functions, you can set up an AI agent to be able to do things like get current order tracking status based off of an email address. So let's say, for example, you want to build an AI agent that can take in a user's email and then return a tracking number and order status. So the user doesn't have to worry about logging in or remembering their order ID or something like that. You can also take this further to get product inventory, availability. There's a lot of different things that Shopify allows. I filmed a full tutorial and have all of the code and everything that's needed that you guys can copy and paste directly. We will also be doing not this Thursday, but next Thursday, we'll be doing a live build out. And I believe Drew will post a link at the end of this call for those Thursday meetings where we're going to be going over more of like in-depth tutorials on how to build out these AI agents step by step. So that'll be a great call for anybody who wants to take things to the next level and learn some of these advanced tutorials. Well, we'll also be going over the easy stuff as well. But yes, so there's tutorials for both Shopify as well as one that I did that can get current stock market data. And so of these examples are fairly simple to the point where you can take them and put them into ChatGPT and say, hey, I want you to turn this into a new function that does X, Y, or Z. And ChatGPT will be able to give you the exact code and you can paste it in. And once you follow and figure out these tutorials, it's pretty simple. I was able to have an agency tell me a use case. And for example, we were creating a calculator that has custom variables as input. It then sends all those custom variables to some custom code that it can run a calculation, which is 100% reliable because it's taking in the variables. The calculation is being done over here, and then the result is being sent back to the AI agent for it to then formulate the response and send back to the user. So the step of having it be a calculation AI bot where you have to put in the prompt, you need to do this calculation or whatever, that's all going to be done and run by this code, this third-party code over here. And both of these tutorials go over that in depth. But yeah, those are definitely going to be a little bit more heavy of advanced use cases. But for those agencies that are out there selling these advanced integrations, and I know we had somebody yesterday successfully sell one of these AI agents to a business for 15,000 euros, I believe. That was pretty exciting. I know we sent out a tweet about that. This is where that higher sum of being able to bill for these custom integrations will come from, because you're literally creating custom IP. You're writing code and then you're integrating that into the AI agent that is in your white label version of Stammer. So you're providing a client with a platform that has custom IP on the back end. So this is really exciting. A lot of people are going to take things with this like crazy. If you're familiar with building custom GPTs and creating custom actions, this will be very familiar to you because it's the exact same interface. So looking forward to see what you guys can build with that. And with that being said, we'll open it up to general Q&A. If you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, ideas, things you'd like to see, please put it in the chat or speak up and let me know. Gotcha. So for all those people that are looking and wanting to do that right now, you can enable that by adding a conversation starter and then increasing the initial message pop-up delay. That will show exactly what you just showed, where it has the little message above the bot.
Fantastic. Cool. Thank you so much. I did not know that. So that's a cool thing. So erase everything that I said about somebody else's thing.
And the other cool thing to mention is what you mentioned about using Claude or using ChatGPT AI to be able to have it write code. You know nothing. You said, I don't know anything about code. That's word for word exactly what these other tutorials about custom functions that I just mentioned exactly are about. It's the exact same thing. It's just a little longer bit of code. So for everyone that's like, oh my gosh, code, we're talking about code now. Don't worry. These AI systems are so good enough that you can literally take screenshots of the platform. For example, if we go back to this custom functions thing, you can literally take a screenshot of this right here and paste this into ChatGPT and be like, explain this to me, help me make this work. And it will help you make it work. I show that in my tutorial of how you can do that. I do exactly that. I take the screenshot and put it in there. So it's really
the full-blown one that I did where it opens up the whole chat widget. I said, I don't want this to happen on mobile. So, hey, Claude, can you make it so it only opens if the screen size is bigger than, so I did like or above, and it was smart enough to do that.
So final thing I wanna mention for today. Oh, Malcolm says, I've noticed that there is an order of operations for the bots and how they pull knowledge from the knowledge base, lead gathering based system prompt, scheduling based system prompt. I can't seem to identify exactly what takes priority and how that priority is set up for the bot to follow on the back end. When you have multiple of these prompts set up, they're going to be appended to the bottom of the base system prompt. So by default, there's always going to be the the knowledge base prompt. And that's basically calling the function saying, hey, we want you to call this knowledge base function to get relevant information. Everything else is going to be appended beneath that message. What we are going to be working on introducing, and within the next couple weeks or so, is exposing that entire prompt in one place. So that way, even if you're editing it over here, you see the entire thing that's stacked, appended as the full prompt. Because I know it can be kind of confusing if you have to go from the leads tab back over to the base system prompt and how those are kind of related. But to simply answer your question, it's base system prompt, then it's the leads prompt, then it's the scheduling prompt. And those are only enabled if you have those enabled, obviously. All right. Last thing I wanted to give a little teaser for, and like I mentioned earlier, we're going to be having the 11 Labs integration for the chat widget voice. We've also been working on some other voice items. So we're going to be having a real-time audio conversation that will be eventually allowed to connect to things like Twilio and phone numbers. So we're working on this. Not going to be able to show it to you right now, but we are working on it. We'll probably have a demo for you guys by next Tuesday, next office hours. So that's going to be super exciting. It'll be very similar to some of the things that we've been seeing on Twitter, kind of like it's not full GPT-4o voice, advanced voice yet, but we're getting there. So that's going to be very exciting. Dan says, came in late. Is there a recording? Yes, there's going to be a full recording on YouTube that I'll post in a second. And just as we end up here, I'll give you the quick 1-2. The big things that we did for this week were we added human handoff for WhatsApp and Facebook integrations. And then we also added the ability for you to create unlimited subscription packages for your clients and be able to show or not show any of those packages to your clients and their sub accounts based off of this box being checked or not checked. Cool. WhatsApp is working. Yes, you can connect it directly and without any third-party integration. It'll take you through like a 5-step connection, verify with your Facebook, click, and then it'll be connected and it'll have a little toggle for the next to your phone number. You switch that on and it'll be live. You can start texting with it. It's great.
Ross just got some feedback on the voice integration. So we've been testing the voice, but we've been testing it with a guy who's visually impaired, which is like one of the accessibility things that we think you've got a real advantage with there if we can get this working. The icon in the chat interface are super small, and for someone who's visually impaired, they're really hard to see. And I'm not sure how we do this from a UX point of view or UI point of view in terms of how we make that really obvious that you can click a button and enable voice. But it's just that was the immediate thing. Someone who got this visual impairment was looking at the screen and couldn't distinguish where you would turn the microphone on or turn the speaker on. Maybe there's like an overlay that you could work on from a visual point of view that would make that easier.
Okay.
Just throwing it out there, just some feedback we've had as we've been doing testing.
if you could come up with like a, like a simple mock-up or like, because I'm trying to think of like what that might look like to someone like that.
Yeah.
We could definitely use that, and then we might even be able to use part of the CSS editor to be able to, like Dwayne was saying, put all that into Claude and be like, how do I make these buttons bigger or something like that, and or move them around, and we might be able to get that to work as well. So there might be some options that we could get like that are more like, dirty quick fixes. But yeah, just let me know on that, and we'll look into that. Alrighty. Any last questions?
Can I give you a quick testimonial?
Sure, that'd be great.
I mentioned before that I'm a member of a mastermind, and I mentioned a different chat product. I get that for free, unlimited in that mastermind. And I hated it enough that I'm delighted to be paying you guys to do what you do, because even free, if it sucks. Now, granted, I'm being a little extreme, but it's so hard to get the thing to work and work properly. It's unbelievable. And there are so many things you have to go back and forth and copy and paste or whatever. It's like, I don't care if it's free forever. Free shit is still free shit. So, it would be great if your guys' stuff was free, but it's not. And I gladly pay for it because there is just a night and day difference. And I'm so glad I found you guys.
Dwayne, thank you. Dan says, what is the best customer or niche for this type of solution, considering the tools and what can we build with Stammer already? If you don't mind me asking, I'm starting to propose it to real estate companies. Yeah. So initially, the three main use cases are customer support, saving money, generating leads, making money, and potentially scheduling appointments, like making more money. So it's kind of like, how do we save a business money, or how do we make a business more money? And depending on who you are talking to, you can kind of adjust those two levers to fit that niche. So for example, like a real estate company, they're always looking for leads. So one of the things for real estate is make sure that, hey, we want to capture this person's name and email, and maybe a good time to call them back if they're trying to sell their home and we need to have an investor call them back. Like boom, 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 right there, that saves an entire person's salary for however many hours, because I know for a fact, and everybody on here that has worked with real estate agents will probably laugh at this, that real estate agents just don't want to do the follow-up. They don't want to do that process. So if you can have this agent do that 24/7, immediately, perfect every single time, that value add potentially could be hundreds of thousands of dollars if that generates enough leads for that agent. At that point, you now have the ability to be like, okay, well, I just made you that much money. Now you're going to be able to charge X more money because it might be worth that to them. And then, yeah, go ahead.
No, I'm just happy that I heard a testimony here. I'm sorry that came in late.
Oh, no worries.
I have a small marketing agency. We do like website, social media, stuff like that. And, I actually forgot the main person I had a meeting with already, but
Drew, probably.
Drew, yeah. I don't know if you know the company Wix.
Oh, yes.
They're pretty big. I've been a Wix partner, loyal to them for 5 years. It's been a great journey. And I was super excited when I joined their platform, even though I was paying also in the beginning. Today, they're paying me. I even get royalties.
Nice.
I was not this excited to get involved with the business as I was 5 years ago when I got involved with Wix, because so it's not all there yet, right? I mean, I believe I could say that as far as like, I'm going to have it do this and that, build like the super, but from what I understood, within the next 30 days or so, you guys are doing some other launches that will be able to expand the AI to do other things as well, right?
Yes.
And to me, as long as that's part of the roadmap, I'm okay with that, because what you guys already have, to me, again, the reason I asked the question I asked is because honestly, I want to go to the biggest plan you guys have, which is unlimited customers, and then sky's the limit. But to me right now it's about bootstrapping stuff, making sure that I can just get started. So like, what's the best niche to close that first customer that potentially, even if I give them 100% discount and what they paid, obviously they don't know, but figuratively they're paying for my platform, so I can build off of that. That's really what I'm going for right now, just to close that first, like, you know what I mean? So I from what I understood, I'm like, man, I think real estate is going to be the best type of niche for me to attack, to just go for that first customer and then just build from there,
Yeah. The quote unquote like true answer is the customers that you potentially already have relationships with. Those are the easiest to sell this to, because there's an immediate value add within seconds that can be felt. As soon as this thing is installed, people will start talking with it or behind a certain channel. Now, you might have come in right after I mentioned the stuff about all the custom functions and the ability to connect your AI agent via third-party code to any any third-party database, platform, whatever it may be, to be able to do things like get the current value of a home from Redfin, for example, and be able to pull that data back into the AI chatbot to then run a calculation potentially to get a valuation on a home. There could be a lot of different things, and the two examples that I've created so far is one that's fully integrated with Shopify, and another one that's pulling live stock market data from this public API. The two cool things about this is once you basically copy this and paste this into ChatGPT, you can tell ChatGPT, hey, I want you to take what I just gave you, but now make it into something that will get the current market price of a home from Redfin API. And then because from my testing, ChatGPT and Claude know pretty much the documentation of every platform on earth that is large. So it will be able to give you the exact instructions on how to make that custom integration for that specific niche of client. And then that allows you to sell custom IP on top of giving access to your version, your white label version of the platform. So you can give them that, lower tier, maybe, $500 to $1,000 a month, like subscription, but then you could upsell them on a $10,000 custom code, integration, whatever it may be, to whatever IDX MLS feed that they have. Like there's a lot of real estate's one of the things I used to do for myself. So I'm always trying to see how we can build out use cases for that market.
Well, I guess I'll give you another challenge here that, hopefully you guys will consider and add it to the roadmap, because again, Wix has its own code. They don't work with JavaScript or other, they do and they don't, but again, they have their own code. It's called Velo. And I think I even saw in one of your videos that you were like, you got to a certain point that's like, yeah, we can get you up to this point, but I was able to install it as a chatbot, the button, or even a full on the page, super chill on a paid post. But as far as like API or connecting or, I guess there would have to be a little bit of changing on the code or something like that to be able to connect it to Wix system itself.
Okay. Well, let me look into that, because I have a feeling that, let me look into that. That's a good challenge. Thank you. Yeah, good one. Wix challenge.
And I say that because it's only me for now, but all of my customers, 80 plus, are on Wix. And there's quite a few million websites on Wix. And, this is just a new stream of customers that, obviously anyone on the call can attack as well. But
Yep.
these are my main customers,
Awesome. Cool. Yeah. Well, I made a note of that, so I'll definitely look into that later this week. I think that'll about do it for today. Thanks everyone for joining. This was a great call. For this will be uploaded to our YouTube channel, Stammer AI, later today. And
Russ,
yeah,
one last question. Could it be used for a website that has a restaurant ordering process on their website instead of doing the typical like step 1, 2, 3 ordering through the chat?
maybe I'd have to look into that one more too. Yeah, it basically depends on what that system is doing or what it is, how it is set up now.
Gotcha.
Yeah, those are two good ones though. Yeah.
I'm happy I was able to make it here towards the end.
Yeah, appreciate you joining. Thanks everyone else for joining, and we'll see you guys next week.
Thank you. Cheers.